the secret to success everyone should know. And I do know what that is, and I attempted to tell you last year on this date, but I wasn't going to take that secret. I wasn't going to accept it because that secret is deciding to embody why you were born, deciding to embody your authentic self. And that's going to be something different for each single person. And obviously, my life was meant to bring you away so that you would know and discover and live that secret to your success because it is within you. Life can be surprising to us at times. We never know who we're going to become, what we're going to achieve in our lives. We don't know what's going to happen in our world. These are all things that we discover as we live, which is a process of self development or personal development or self actualization or ascension or any of those things. And I lived all of those. And that's why I can tell you I know the secret to your success and would be moving through all the barriers that had told you you couldn't be something, moving through all the doubt that you had about your identity or your life purpose, moving through all of those things and deciding that you were going to prosper and become abundant and happy and live the life that you wanted to have and have all these great relationships. Now, the reason that I know this is because my life was meant to move through all of those things and develop something to give to you so that you could have that secret to success. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you've done, what you've achieved, or what you haven't done, because it's still in front of you, because it always happens in our consciousness. There's no different in any human. It's about consciousness, but there's something else. We're connected to something greater than any of us knew. And we keep discovering that in different ways. I put up something yesterday, an article where I said you didn't believe Jesus, Buddha, Tesla either. And that's because when we develop something new at times, it can be challenging to accept it, as it was for me, as your life might be, because you're always doing the same thing. You're developing something new and deciding whether or not you're going to believe it or believe yourself. That's really what it is. So last year on this date, I received a message from Wilhelm. That's who I've channeled and written since 1989 and has given me all the work that could transform your life. That I do know because it works on science. It's based in science, and so it's based in you discovering who you're meant to be in this world. And then I became a mystic and a sage and a channeler, which is not something that that's something I never expected. But I saw the other night when I did the channeling session, wow, I can answer anyone's question when I'm channeling Wilhelm. That's the difference. We have different levels of consciousness, and I was able to access this greater consciousness that could allow me to accept this work, to put this work together, to give to you so that you live this magnificent life. Now, you might not want to do that because it does require us being willing to move through the restrictions and look at ourselves and do the shadow work and do all of those things. But if you do that, then you get there. I couldn't have done it before because I had to live this and bring it to you. And then at times we discover things that we could not have known about ourselves or about the world, about how we operate as humans. And that's what happened for me. Turns out that as I'm receiving Wilhelm, they're giving me information that's aligned with the cosmic, astronomical events that are happening in our world. I could never explain why I healed, why I started to understand things in a different way, why I had a sense of what was happening in the world. Well, yesterday I decided to put something together to show you. And because I'm finishing all of this now. I'm finishing all of this because it's in my program. It will be in my program. And I have a special going on this weekend because now I have to take the next step as you do as well. Meaning accepting what we were given. We were all given something. And it's time for it to develop. And what's happening in our world is not accidental either. This is why you probably feel motivated that you're going to do that thing. Now might be the time. And you are correct. I was able to read the energies of our world through Wilhelm. And so I put together this document, which I will leave a link for you to have it, and it shows the events that were happening in our world within us individually and then collectively, and then how to navigate through them. Now, I couldn't have known that because I've never studied any of it. I've never studied astrology. I never astronomy, none of that stuff. But Wilhelm did because they gave us the information. And when you read through the messages that they gave us and the timing of it and the advice, because it's always about how can I live a better life? How can I come to accept myself? How can I know who I am? How can I move beyond fear? How can I get beyond my doubt of myself? How do I develop more confidence and empowerment? Well, I've answered all of those questions because Wilhelm gave me the answers. And I had to go back and look just as you to see this is what has happened. But my life was just meant to be a little bit different than yours, but you're meant to do something as well that you can give to others. That's how evolution happens. But when you go to the document, first of all, if you go to the my site, Any Advice for Today, you'll see this. If you look for last year, on this date, on the 26th, you'll see this message. Now everything will be perfect. Well, it could have been. It was talking about if we can accept who we are. And I was still attempting to do that. And then when you go down, you'll see there's a video here. And that video, when you open it, says how to, the secret to living that successful life. Because I was attempting to explain it then, but I didn't have all the information. I do now. Because I had to say, how did this work? Why are people receiving such great results from this? Why do they understand things? And why did it frighten me? Because it did. And I didn't finish. I stopped myself. I said, because I couldn't explain to people why this was working. And I had tapped into something new. The organization of our planets, our galaxies, and how they're moving, the energies of that, and how they affect us, and how we can navigate and use them in a way to understand who we are. And then when you do that, you reach a higher state of consciousness, and then you probably will experience some healing as well, because that's what's occurred for me. But now it's time for me to finish it, as it's time for you. But I do advise you to look at the work, and there's a special going on this weekend. You just use the code webinar30, because that's what we used when I did the channeling session. You should probably watch that as well. It'll give you a great sense of what this work is, what Wilhelm has given us all, because it wasn't just for me. I thought that in the beginning, but obviously it was for the world, because it's been shown that this would up-level humankind if more people were to use it, because you become this empowered person who's doing something really amazing in the world. But this is the document you will see, because I just wanted you to get a sense of the explanation, number one, because I couldn't have known this, but artificial intelligence did. And so when you come down, you will see that on a particular date, I would receive a message, and this one was the full moon. I've, again, never studied any of this stuff, but I could not have told you, but Wilhelm did, and gave us the information that could help us understand emotionally, mentally, spiritually, what was happening and how to best use it. And then it was also aligned, because we live in the physical world, so we have to deal with that. You can see the different events that were occurring that Wilhelm knew, and it was all relative. It was all related, and the artificial intelligence is pointing out all the ways. So I did several of it. I did all of 2022 and a few other years, just a few other ones, just so you can see. But it was an extraordinary discovery for me, because I couldn't have known, and I definitely wouldn't have known before we had artificial intelligence to analyze everything. But that also tells me that I discovered something so significant in human experience that I'm going to finish it. And then I'm going to take it to a place, a much greater place, because the more people who use this, they become this wonderful people. That's what happens. And now it's time for you to do the same thing, because now you know But there's no secret. You just have to decide if you're going to become successful. And that's one of the messages. Success is a choice. That means that we have to decide to move over our fear and doubt about ourselves and take the next step. And I've made that so easy for everyone now because I have the way for you to do it. And that's in this work. And I just had to really do this today because I have to completely shift and accept, because this was astonishing to me what I had been given. And hopefully you will find those astonishing things about yourself as well, because we're all meant to, if we decide to become successful. So I'm going to make that choice today. Thanks for being here, and I'll leave the links inside the description.